G'day guys, welcome to this episode of Aussie English. Today we're going to be doing another IELTS lesson where we talk about our travels. So how you can obviously talk about going around the world. You're often going to get this sort of a question, you know, have you been overseas? Have you travelled much? Have you studied abroad?
Definitely, it's a very common topic.
Yeah, did you get that in your IELTS at all?
Thankfully not.
Why thankfully?
It's hard for me, like if you are anything similar to me, like I didn't have the chance to travel much when I was a child with my parents and my family. So all my experiences are very recent.
So it would have been a little limited if they said, where have you been before?
Like, oh, tell me about a holiday you spent with your family. They'll be like, I would struggle to make it up on the spot. It's like being creative. It's just hard. So I'm really glad I didn't get this topic. It's not that it's hard to talk about, it's just hard for me because, you know, I started traveling, not that I've done much, but I started when, you know, I was already an adult. And mostly in Australia, so...
Well, that's sort of my case as well. Anyway, I guess the basic idea here will be we'll have this video first where Kel and I will just have a casual, natural discussion about our history travelling around, where we've been, maybe what we would like to see in the future as well. And then the second video, we'll go through the different vocab that we've got here in case we miss anything in this video. So to open it up, Kel, which countries have you been to in the past? Where have you travelled in the past?
That's when it gets hard for me because I honestly left Brazil. I didn't travel. I travelled around Brazil. I went to a couple of cities in the south and in the north as well. But I wish I had done some travel in South America.
Why is that?
Because you know, it's already there. It's close and tends to be, you know, cheap. As opposed to traveling to Europe, for example, or the USA. It would be much more expensive.
Because those countries are just next door. You just have to cross the border and you're in Colombia or a completely different country.
Argentina, I would love to go, but unfortunately I didn't have the chance. But then I came to Australia and here I've seen, you know, I've been to Sydney, I've been to Canberra, we lived there for 6 months.
Well, and to me, you were in Queensland for a long time and that's the sort of ideal
holiday
picturesque holiday destination in Australia. Everyone goes to Queensland. Queensland, Cairns, Townsville, Brisbane, all the warm weathers up there, the beautiful beaches.
Definitely, it's really, really...
So when you were living there, did you travel around much as like a tourist or were you mainly in the one place?
No, I've been to Cairns for a holiday. I've been to Mackay also a holiday. What else? I've been around Townsville, so you have like those like little towns and villages. They have like waterfalls and things like that.
So sites or tourist attractions.
Yes. So a few creeks that we would go and just, you know, spend the day at and have fun. It's great to be in Queensland because everywhere you go, it's like a paradise. So, not that I don't like Victoria, but it's just easy, I guess. It's always summer and it is where everyone goes to when people are on holidays to be like places are very touristic. So it's really...
You could probably say that. Very, touristic. I guess you would say probably just there are a lot of tourist attractions in those locations and almost a bit of a tourist trap right at times where you have a lot of people. Especially places like Castle Hill, in Townsville.
Well, I wouldn't say that Townsville is a tourist trap because...
There's not a lot of tourists.
It's not a lot. Well, we do, but then there's so much to see still. But at the same time, it's a tiny little city. So if you go there expecting to see, you know, do a lot of sightseeing or you know, visit like museums or other things, you might be frustrated. It's really the place you go to if you wanna, you know, spend a day on the beach and that's it.
And relax.
And
so did you book any trips whilst you were there? Did you go to, I think it's Maggie Island? Magnetic Island?
Yes, Maggie Island's like, I think 25 minutes by ferry from Townsville. And there's accommodation there, like hostels and even like, what do you call it when you just camp?
Camping grounds.
Camping grounds, yeah. It's great to spend the day there. There's a few bays you can swim, restaurants. We can go hiking.
Yeah.
Lots of things to do. So that was honestly that was my favorite sort of. If I had to choose a perfect holiday, that would be let's go to Maggie Island, spend a whole weekend there, just relaxing. And I'm not a big fan of sand and beaches and things, but it's just so beautiful and there's so much to see. You can go diving.
Yeah. Scuba diving.
Scuba diving. You can. Just great. You can do a lot of things. Depends
so, are there any places you would have liked to have gone when you were in Queensland? Because you're obviously now down to Victoria. Were there any tourist attractions or any sites that you wish you'd seen that you never got the chance to?
Definitely. I'd say definitely the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah.
I've been to the Great Barrier Reef when I was in Orpheus Island. But it's not the reef you see on TV, right? Like the big, massive thing that you can just take photos and just, paradise. It's a very sort of small portion of the reef.
Yeah.
And the island's beautiful, but I was working there, so it wasn't really a holiday. So definitely, if I have the chance to go back, I want to go into the Great Barrier Reef. Beautiful.
And are there any other places that you would like to visit, whether it's in Australia or overseas in the future?
I would love to go to Europe. Like now that my best friend lives in France, I've always wanted to go to Paris, and just romantic. And I can't imagine like walking around Paris at night. It must be beautiful, all the lights and Greece as well. Because the history and the historical importance of the place, that would if I had to go tomorrow, I think Paris and Greece would be my two favorite places. What about you? I know you want to go to Brazil.
Yeah, I'd like to go to Brazil. I don't know where I would start because Brazil's such a big country with so much to see. Obviously, you'd start north, maybe go south.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I think for me, I get worried in countries like South America with regards to safety. But I'm sure once you get there, you become aware and you get to know.
That's a downside, I would say, of going to Brazil. You do have to be aware of the violence and things you can't do, like things that Australians take for granted, right? Like walking around with your phones and stuff, but. Honestly, it's just, it depends where you are a lot. Like, some places are more dangerous. You have really, dangerous places. You don't go there, but mostly it's just fine.
But growing up in Australia, my parents would take us away each summer. We would go camping. So we would have those kinds of travelling holidays where you would go on short trips locally to places that are nearby, like the Grampians or Wilson's Prom. I remember being in grade 6 and we went to Rockhampton in Queensland up north, and that was my first experience with, I guess, the Great Barrier Reef and, taking chartered flights out to different islands, getting on boats, seeing a bit. I don't think we went scuba diving or anything, but we went snorkeling in some places. Yeah. Cool. And then I went to France when I was in high school for a month and travelled around France and was practicing French. That was cool.
Nice.
And then when I was doing my PhD, I went to
Indonesia?
Where would it have been? Yeah, Indonesia, Sulawesi, where the tsunami recently was. I was in Sulawesi studying in the jungles there, looking for rats and other animals for my supervisor.
Do you have time to go sightseeing, or was it just like work?
No. It was pretty much, I was just following my supervisor where he was taking us. So we had to go to different towns and then, hire someone to drive us to the next town. We had to make camps with all of the gear there, and then we had to do different things in the jungle for the scientific studies.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would love to travel a lot more in the future.
Me too, but
I'd love to go to Europe.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to go to Europe. I think still, you again talking about safety, but it's still one of those places if you have the chance, go. My friend's just amazed how beautiful France is, and I just can't. Hopefully we can do it together and go and with the baby and things.
Yeah,
So do you
that's it.
think Australians tend to, like, I know camping's a big thing here for you guys, but do you go a lot, like, for travel agents, or it's just like, let's improvise and get the family together and do it?
I think if people organise flights somewhere and they're wanting to spend like a week somewhere, they'll usually do it, especially if it's far away and if they're lazy, if they can't be bothered booking places on their own. Like, they don't want to book the flights, they don't want to book the hotel, they don't want to book the chartered flights, the buses, the boats, whatever it is. They'll go through a travel agent so that that person can organise it, and you just have to be in certain locations at certain times, you know, whether you're going on guided tours or you're going to your hotel, you just have to be like, okay, I need to be here by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But if you're going overseas, they will. So if you're organising a holiday in Bali or to Thailand, you know, Australians will tend to go to those sorts of places in Southeast Asia for short holidays that are kind of like summer holidays that they'll go on locally in this region of the world.
Cheap as well, I heard.
Yeah, it's relatively cheap. But if we're going to other countries like France, Brazil, that sort of stuff, people will tend to go through news agencies. I mean, flight agencies and everything.
Yeah,
so travel agents. And they'll tend to get them to just book everything for them.
I think it's much easier nowadays, you know, with everything's online. You can. I think your parents went to Europe. Did they do it by themselves? Or
I'm not 100% sure.
All the like bookings and things.
I think they probably would have organised it themselves because they're pretty savvy when it comes to organising those things, and they probably know how to save money now. So
yeah, I think it also depends on how adventurous you are. Like, if you want to go to Brazil by yourself, or like, you know, a small group of people, doesn't want any help from a travel agent, good luck. But yeah, just it depends. I would be much more comfortable, especially going overseas, if I had someone helping me, you know, like, that's where you're gonna stay at, that's what you're gonna do. But I don't know, depends.
Yeah, far out. So I guess this one will be a bit of a short one, guys. But the basic stuff there I would focus on when replying to these sorts of questions. If people are asking you about these things with traveling, have you done it in the past? Are you interested in it now? Are you thinking about it in the future? I would think about those different tenses. So I would quite often try and talk about it. What did I do when I was young? What have I done? As in, when we talk about experiences, we would use the present perfect. I have been to France. I have been to Brazil. Sort of like, I may go again. But if you talk about a time in the past, like when I was young, I went to Brazil, you would use the past simple. So I would play around with tenses like that. So I would practice talking about what I did when I was young, what I have done as experiences, what I would like to do in the future, and that'll be a great way of showing off the different tenses that you can use in English. And obviously try and use connector words, you know, like, well, I did this and I thought this was good, however, this happened, and moreover, this was really good. So try and link things together, and don't be afraid if you break sentences up, or you don't finish your train of thought, or you change where you're going. Quite often, if you can keep just talking,
definitely,
it shows a good level in English.
And again, like, if you have to make up things on the spot, just, you know, try to be calm and remember the vocabulary, because the vocabulary related to traveling and holidays is quite specific. So there's a lot of things you can learn, like, in chunks. Yeah. You know, just
learn the collocations.
And I'm sure, like, it helps a lot. It's one of the most common topics on IELTS, to be honest, but it's not difficult to talk about it. And most people, you know, even if you haven't done a lot of traveling like me, it's easy to talk about holiday, like a weekend I spent with your family somewhere, or like, you know, just used to go and see my extended family somewhere else. So, you know, there's always a way to answer the question properly, and I
would just keep going.
Keep going.
And if you do make it up, just I would probably have a plan that I've practiced, right? If I'm thinking about lies or making stuff up on the spot, I would try and avoid just doing it in the moment, because you'll be like, ooh.
Nervous.
But if you have an idea of, you know, just make up Africa is somewhere I want to go because I like safaris, wildlife safaris. Rhinos are my favorite animal. None of that is true, but just have some sort of backup plan. For if you do get caught out.
just keep talking.
Yeah, anyway, good job, guys. We will see you in the next video in the Aussie English classroom if you're not there already, where we're going to now talk about all the different vocabulary that we used in the last video and that we may have also missed in that video. So a few extra words in there. We'll see you there.